we're back with another episode. Summertime. Something kiss behind. Yeah.
Wow. Why do you always feel the need to do this? Good God Almighty.
It just comes.
We're not going that fast. It's a summertime groove. Okay. 2, 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. You're just
ADHD.
It's not your
My
ADHD.
brain is always going that speed.
That is definitely your white side coming
I
out.
have white ADHD.
Which is definitely different from black ADHD.
There's a fucking Tasmanian devil just running around all the time.
It's like the thing is just you just. I don't know why the speed in your head is this fucking fast, but slow it down, my friend. Slow it down. Jesus.
There's like a 6-piece jazz band in my head at all times.
It's a swing band. That's all it is.
There you go.
It's just straight snare and cymbal.
Only hi-hats, no bass.
Me. You need some 808s, girl. Good God Almighty. Anyway.
On that note. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Ladies and gentlemen, pimps and players.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
To your favorite podcast you've ever heard right now this second.
Absolutely.
The Face Off.
With Fleming and Fowler.
With Fleming and Fowler.
How was your week this past week? Oh. Wrong one.
One day I'll get it right.
It's only written there for you.
I know.
For like
I can't
4
read.
years.
You know that. I'm doing all right. Life is good. It's back to, if I don't complain about the heat at least one time an episode, it's not an episode.
Oh, I agree. Same.
It's back up to 100 plus degrees in San Antonio, Texas. We are actively melting.
Yes, we are.
But other than that, shit's pretty groovy, I guess. What about you? How was your week?
My week was very interesting, but the ending of it was great. I got my booty rubbed on.
There you go.
Yesterday, and it seemed to go more on my legs than my butt. I was like, "You don't love me no more," and I actively was having like back issues because
you're like up.
I was like, "Hey, I lifted the patient wrong. I need you to actually."
Do you just
work on my
grab
back.
his hand and move it up?
No, I think that would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, maybe.
Plus the music that was playing, like, you know how like the first location he was working at played the actual like official massage therapy music, and now like when I walked in, it was so funny because he was playing some kind of Janet Jackson song. I was like, "Are you trying to tell me something?"
Oh, you're getting rubbed on to Janet Jackson.
I know. I was like,
that's a vibe.
This is interesting. But yeah, I would have liked to do that, but I would think it would be awkward.
Probably.
Because I can just communicate with him and tell him and use my words and say,
I guess
hey.
if I was in a room with someone and they moved my hand,
I would think it's weird.
I would.
Yeah. Because I would feel like you're trying to be freaky with me and I'm just trying to do my job. Because I'm the only one that's trying to turn it into a freaky experience. He's definitely just doing his job.
Work.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it was cool. Very interesting events at work. I got yelled at by a patient.
Always fun.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing with demented patients or patients who have dementia, who suffer from dementia, there is only two sides of the spectrum. Either they're going to be really, really nice and calm,
yes, or
very belligerent and loud. And this is the same man who, remember I told you a couple episodes ago, because he's still at the hospital, he was begging for cookies. So everybody that walked past, he would ask people for specifically 10 cookies and be like, I just need 10 cookies. Please, just 10 cookies on a small platter plate. I don't know why he wanted them on a small platter plate, but
he wants what he wants. A man who knows what he wants.
And so I was walking through the hallway because my one of the nurses, I went to go see one of my patients. And one of the nurses had given him a patient a suppository, which I feel like, why are you giving suppositories in the bed? Let the patients get up with therapy. You know it's going to come out either way. But anyway, so we were, of course, I was working with him doing all these, abdominal type exercises to try to help his bowels move. But I did it on purpose because I knew this man is almost 90 years old. He needed to poop because I'm like, if you don't poop, the older you get, you're going to die. Anyway, and so I went in there to go try to help clean him up and everything. And so I was going to get supplies. And so the same guy who's been asking for the 10 cookies, they have him sitting in the doorway because he won't be quiet in his regular room. And so he just screams out. So they're like, if he sees people, at least he'll be calm and be quiet. So he's sitting there. And so he starts yelling at me. He was like, hey, come here real quick. And I was like, sir, I'm going to come back and talk to you. I just got to go see my patient real quick. Come back here right now. And I was like, sir, stop yelling at me. Okay, I'm going to go clean up my patient. I just wanted to talk to you. I understand that, but you don't have to yell. And I'm coming back. Did I come back? No, that's not the point. The point is,
I'll never come back.
Yeah, no. If you ask me to come, I'm never coming back.
How many lies do you think you tell a day at the hospital?
Oh, a million.
I think so too.
A million.
I'm like,
lies.
I'll go check on that. Oh, let me ask the nurse. Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm not sure. Oh, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Did you get the results back from my test? No. Whole time,
Haven't heard.
body riddled with cancer.
The doctor hasn't been by. I'm sure he's going to be by right in the next couple minutes.
Your lunch should be coming around shortly.
Oh, you didn't like your breakfast? I'll call down and see if I can get you something else.
Yeah. You want some coffee? I'll get you some coffee.
I'll get you some Your urinal. Oh, yeah. No.
All I'm going to do is just tell your nurse. Here's the thing. I would go get patients coffee. I personally am not a coffee drinker, and I do not know how to make coffee.
Oh,
So-
I used to get coffee a lot when I did ARU because I would get myself a cup and sit in there and drink it with them.
And that would be
I'm
your
like,
therapy.
we're having coffee now.
I love that for you. Yeah, I tell a lot of lies to patients, and we manipulate too. I manipulate for the greater good. Absolutely.
As you should.
Yeah, I mean, you can't name me a person in healthcare who doesn't lie to their patient. I'll show you a liar themselves.
I'll show you someone who has no friends at work.
Yeah, or somebody who's shitty at their job. You're not great at your job in healthcare if you don't lie.
You gotta lie to make it through the day.
You absolutely have
Just
to.
little white lies.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
You're doing
no,
amazing.
you did perfect. That's all I needed you to do.
Wow, you did amazing.
You're
Hey,
looking so much better.
you couldn't take any steps today, but your butt cleared the bed. That's
There
all
you
that
go.
matters.
And I'm always like, this motherfucker.
That's progress. We are such liars.
I'm like, you could go home. You're
Yeah.
not going home.
You're not going home. Well, which leads me to who I'm putting in the rehab corner, or what I'm putting in the rehab corner. Speaking of lies, there's a patient who lied to me this week. And it doesn't feel good to be lied to. However, we know what patients are going to be, what they're willing to do and what they're not.
True.
So there's one patient, he's a frequent flyer, and he's been in the hospital multiple times. Multiple therapists have had him. He's just a problem child. He'll, let you do your whole spiel, your talk, whatever, and then he will debate you and will not get up to the edge of the bed or even out of bed, even though this man can physically walk.
Biggest pet peeve, because if you know you're not going to do it, just tell me straight up. Nothing you can say is going to get me out of this
Exactly,
bed.
and I can leave, and I can discharge you from my service.
Yes.
So this guy, I can't even remember what he came in for. He had some kind of fem-pop bypass, whatever. Anywho, and so I told, I explained to him exactly what I was getting ready to do, why I was doing it, and what it entailed, which was getting to the edge of the bed, and if we could try to stand, we were going to stand and take some steps, blah, 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 and that was it. So he lets me go through this whole spiel. I was like, I'm not going to bore you with the little silly questions about where you live, because I already have that in the system. Let me get a blood pressure on you. He let me get the blood pressure, playing Miss Nice Guy, listening to his little whack ass jokes. And so,
and you're like, anyway, single story house.
Back to what we were talking about. I would love to hear more of that story once we get up and stand and walk. Anywho,
I'm still listening to you, but we just gotta keep
exactly.
going.
I'm just getting your blood pressure. So then I was like, I start peeling the covers back. I take off the SCDs. I take off the Prevalon boots, everything. And so then I was like, all right, I put the bed rail down. Let's go ahead and get to the edge of the bed. Oh, I'm not doing that.
And that's when I catch an attitude, because I'm annoyed.
And so I said, well, sir, why are you not getting to the edge of the bed? And he says, well, I can't do it. And I said, well, sir, I'm not going to make you do it by yourself. I'm obviously going to help you. Like, I'm
how do you know
physical therapy.
You can't unless we try?
Here's the thing. He says, how do you know I can? How do you know I can't do it?
Valid question.
And I said, sir, you haven't tried. So let's just try and see where it goes. So then he starts just coming up with all kind of excuses. Well, people keep saying I'm refusing, and people keep putting in my chart that I'm refusing therapy, and I'm not refusing therapy. I said, well, sir, what are you doing right now? Because I asked you to do something, and I gave you instructions to get to the edge of the bed, and you have refused. I'm not refusing. I said, okay, what word would you like to use? Declining? You're requesting to defer to get to the edge of the bed. It's all the same. It means all the same thing. You're refusing to get to the edge of the bed. So let's change the narrative and let's get to the edge of the bed. He's like, no, I'm not getting to the edge of the bed. I said, all right, sir, you have a great day. No. Come back and talk to me. I said, absolutely not. I said, sir, I'm not going to play these games with you because it's too hot in this goddamn hospital and I'm done. And so I leave, and I told him, I said, well, sir, you will be now discharged from physical therapy services. If you would like to get to the edge of the bed or to get up at all, your physicians will need to put in a new order for PT, and you will get another physical therapist. I go see another patient, and maybe like 20 minutes later, the nurse calls me. And mind you, this is an ICU. I just don't play games in ICU like that. Anyway, because you're wasting a bed. So the nurse says, oh, well, Mr. So-and-so says that he'll get to the edge of the bed.
I don't know Mr. So-and-so anymore.
So I told the nurse, I said, thank you so much for reaching out. I definitely do appreciate you closing the loop. However, this patient has now been dropped and discharged from physical therapy services and will no longer be seen unless his physician staff puts in another consult, which other patients are in front of him. So he will have to wait until the next available physical therapist. Have a great day.
And what annoys me the most is that when patients start specifically saying, don't say I refuse, don't put in my chart I refuse, don't write down that means someone has already come to talk to you about the fact that you're fucking refusing.
Exactly.
Because you only start doing that shit when a case manager or a doctor has said, listen, you cannot refuse therapy if you want A, B, and C. We're not going to keep doing these things if you're refusing to get up. And we heard that you're refusing. I'm not refusing. They didn't try it. Blah, 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 blah. So I already know someone came in here and talked to you. All I have to do is see you try to sit up on the edge of the bed. That's all you have to do. If it goes to shit, it goes to shit. I throw you right back.
And then the thing is, the next day I came in, he's still in the ICU. And so he sees me going to another patient. He's like, hey. And I was like, absolutely not. I don't know you. As Jesus would say, depart from me. I know you not. Okay. I don't know.
You're no longer on my caseload.
No,
I do not know you.
I just don't have time. And I also told the patient, I said, here's the thing. I have other patients who actually want to participate and get out of bed and work with me to go see. And he's just like, and I said, well, sir, if you would like to rot in this bed, be my guest. He was like, well, the quicker I rot, the better.
Sounds like you got a plan.
You got a plan, sir. Who are me to disrupt that plan? Who are me? Okay.
Listen, I get to work in the morning. I have a list of 10 names. That is what I have the mental bandwidth and capacity for. Absolutely. And barely. Yeah, all right. And seriously. If your name is not on there that day, sorry to you.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
It's too hot. I get paid too little.
Yeah, it's too hot to argue with any patient at this point in my life. And you know, all I'm here to do is present the evidence to you, and you can do what you want with it. You don't have to get up. I get to leave my job every day and come back to my wonderful, peaceful home with my Tempur-Pedic mattress, and you're sleeping in a twin bed. You decide if you want to get up or not. And I'm not gonna. And again, we're not gonna play this game.
No sweat off my back. What is the thing?
No skin off my teeth.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is too, I put in this chart. I said, please do not reconsult physical therapy services until patient has been able to consistently get out of the bed or at your bed with the nursing staff. So are they going to read that part? No.
I'll read you the filth in my note. No one's going to read it, but it makes me feel better to professionally read you.
Somebody's going to read it at some point. Maybe another therapist. Who knows?
Also, I know you do it too, because I've been in the room with you. We are so upfront about being like, you quite literally just have to kick your freaking little feet off the bed. Let me pop up your trunk and I'll put you right. I just need enough to write this evaluation up, and then I'm out of your hair.
Here's the thing. You people out there, y'all sign consent forms for surgery. You signed the consent form.
You signed the form.
Now, I'm sorry that your surgeon did not go over with you how bad it's going to hurt, but we don't sugarcoat that shit. That's one thing I don't lie about. I tell my patients all the time, the first time you get up, it's going to suck and it's going to hurt like hell. However, every time you do it afterward, it's going to get easier and easier, which it does.
It does. You know what's funny? So I was telling Monty off camera, I saw a lung transplant today. Like, I probably saw him like 3 days post-op because he had a bunch of complications and shit. So it was the first time anyone had gone in to see him. And right when I was going in there, one of the pulmonary docs was kind of rounding on him and went in to talk to him because he'd been at the hospital for a while. So they're friendly. Mm-hmm. And this man, poor sweet man, but like he just had this double lung transplant. He's on all these drips. He doesn't know if he's coming or going. He's just trying to wake the fuck up from all of this shit. He's like so puffy, just swollen. And the doctor's like, hey, remember we talked about it. I said you were going to have this surgery and then you were going to have to get right up. And you know what you said to me? You said you were going to do it. Mm-hmm. So today you got to do it. And I've never felt so bad.
Yeah.
I never really feel bad, but watching it, I was like, oh man, this really sucks.
When you work with transplant patients are very different than the average like surgical patient, because like you said, they are on so many medications and they have so many lines and tubes, and any little thing like times 1,000 can happen that can change the whole trajectory of their recovery. But it's like, I know you just had a rib spreader in your chest and people were actively like cutting on your fascia and your muscles, but hey, you signed a consent form. Let's get up.
Yeah. I feel like usually we're the ones that are like, come on, we can do it. Let's try it. So then after I saw the doctor telling him, I was like, I don't think we really have to do it. Yeah. We're okay. Yeah. We can give
I'm not going to push.
Yeah, I just felt so bad.
Yeah. And then you have some of the other surgeons. Remember one of the surgeons that we used to work with who would literally take off his white coat and come in there and be like, all right, let's do therapy. We're standing up. And I'm like, this man watches way too much Grey's Anatomy because he thinks he's a physical therapist, but we love it.
Back up.
Yeah. It's like, let me run this. You run the OR. I run this area.
Which makes it so much more annoying when you have these people who are physically capable of getting up and they're just like, no. not doing
exactly. And that's why I told him, I said, I'm going to go see patients who would kill to have your level of sickness. So when you decide you want to cooperate, you let your nurse know, and the nurse can get you up. But I'm not going to play this game with you.
Cooperate, please.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Was that all you want to tell us about your lung transplant patient, or do you want to put something else in the rehab corner today?
I'd like to put my job in the rehab corner. They threw me into that fucking transplant room. How many times have I ever seen a lung transplant patient?
They're fun.
0. No, I'm sure they're fun. I just don't like being thrown into a situation, and it was fine because, ICU debility post-op day 3 is ICU debility post-op day 3.
No matter what the diagnosis
But I was
is.
like, well, God, I don't fucking know. It looks like Jaws came and bit this man in half. They sewed him back together. He can't breathe for shit. And I was like, kick your legs.
We're going to do therapy.
Yeah.
Can you take your socks off?
I looked straight at the nurse. I said, what do you know about lung transplants? He said, I took the class. I know, pretty good amount. What do you know? I said, jack shit.
I mean, the thing is, with lung transplants, if you've worked them up for the transplant, then you can work with them after.
I didn't work him up for the transplant.
But you've worked with other patients who needed lung transplants.
That is true.
So, and they are much sicker.
That is true. But I didn't put that together because I've never freaking had a lung. I just don't like going into shit that I don't know anything about. It wasn't like I had sat down the day before and been like, let me look up a little bit about lung transplants so I'm familiar. But I just saw it on my list and I thought, God,
that's the fun part though, because you get to build. I guess because my brain works differently because I'm used to building protocols and stuff like that. So I would lunge at an opportunity to work with a particular diagnosis or a surgery that I haven't had experience with, because you literally get autonomy because this is the first time it happens. And so you get to build on that and to find out what works, what doesn't work, not at the risk of, losing your patient, but just the fact of, for therapy's sake. So
you're right. It just, I would like to not do that at 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
True.
When my coffee hadn't kicked in and I decided not to take a Vyvanse because it's a Saturday. It's going to be an easy day.
Yeah. And everybody's not there.
True. So I was like, we're just gonna wing it.
Yeah.
But you know what he did? Sat up on the side of the bed.
Good. See?
And tried to stand.
And that's one more thing than what my patient did, because he didn't do it at all. And literally everything on his whole chart, the whole eval was not tested.
I'm still writing that shit up.
I'm still writing it, and I'm still charging for it because I spent 15 minutes in your room trying to educate you.
My time is what? Billable.
It's billable. And my clock is going. Once I step foot, before I even step foot in the room, once I make contact with your nurse, my clock starts. Period.
Nurses get so mad. They'll go ask me to do something. I'm like, I can't charge for that. I'm not going in there. Respectfully. They're like, da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, that's a waste of my time. That's a waste of their money. I'm not going in there to range their arms.
Yeah. Can you do some passive range of motion? No. Please, I want every nurse under the sound of my voice.
I will not be doing it.
Because I am your ally and I love y'all. But I do not love y'all when y'all ask a physical and an occupational therapist to do passive range of motion. That is not why we went to school and got in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You can do that. Your CNAs can do that. We will not be doing that.
Go ask your student to do it.
Seriously. Hell, anybody can do that. It's not skilled. If anybody can do it, it's not skilled.
She said it.
It's the truth. It's just what it is.
Also, last thing I want to throw in the rehab corner today is Father's Day. Shout out to the dads. Way to be a dad. That was a quick hand clap of praise.
Great. God damn.
That's all you get from me.
That was a quick hand clap of praise.
You already know that's all you're getting from me.
All right.
We all know how I feel about the majority of people with Y chromosomes on this podcast. We don't need to dwell on it. It is what it is. Waiting for someone to change my mind. However, I do recognize the fact that there are men out there who are very good fathers.
A lot of men.
In to be very good fathers.
Yes.
And I think Father's Day should be used to celebrate those men.
Absolutely.
And I don't like going on social media and seeing all these, deadbeat dad, where's my dad, no one's there posts. This is not that day. Let's just celebrate the good, present, responsible fathers. The single moms who also played the role of a father can have their day.
I think it's and never stops.
The Rebas get a day. They get a day already. Okay, just let the dads have the dad day, and that's me saying that.
Yeah,
I
agree 1,000%. I just feel like Father's Day is one of the most fucked up holidays because men are not celebrated there, and I will continue to say that, which is why I still think Valentine's Day should be only for men, because Mother's Day comes around. The whole world stops for Mother's Day.
But that's because women put on Mother's Day.
No, and I get it, but also too, we should focus more. I don't ever see a deadbeat mother's post on Mother's Day.
True.
People know enough not to do it, or I guess respect the givers of life enough to not do it on social media. But then when it comes to Father's Day, everybody wants to do a skit. Oh, I'm going out to dinner with my deadbeat dad, and then they pan over and there's nobody there. Why do you need to post that?
Come on.
Just celebrate the men who have stood in the gap for you. And as a person who has had an amazing father, my father was in my life. My parents were married for almost 40 years before my dad passed away, unfortunately. And I know what a real father looks like, a real provider. To me, that's so detrimental to somebody who, again, lost their father so early, not early in life. I mean, I was 30 when he died, but that's the point. The point is, he still died too early. Gone too soon. Okay. All I'm saying is, it's like for those of us who are mourning the loss of our father, and I get it that other people too who have not had a present father are mourning the loss of their father as well too. You don't have to post the negative. All you have to do is, respect the people who are in your lives, your uncles, your godfathers, your brothers, whomever who have stood in the gap to help raise you, and it not be your mom.
Not every holiday is for everybody.
No.
Okay, so if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Again, that's coming from me. So
I don't celebrate Rosh Hashanah, but I'm not out here being anti-Rosh Hashanah. It's
like, one time I knew someone who celebrated Rosh Hashanah and they were awful.
I went to a bar mitzvah and it was horrible. What the fuck? Like, you don't have to make a post about it.
Just let the people who have the calling to say something about Father's Day and celebrate that holiday do it.
Absolutely.
Also, father isn't necessarily biological.
No, definitely not.
Father figure,
right?
Father time, Father God.
I love that, Father God. Absolutely.
There's a lot of fathers.
There is.
Okay.
Spiritual fathers as well.
Luke, I am your father.
Thank you.
All the Star Wars.
Celebrate your favorite TV dad who inspired you to choose your husband or whoever.
Don't tell us your favorite TV dad. I don't want to fucking hear that today.
It's Bill Cosby.
I know,
but
I don't want to hear that today. Not on Father's Day.
But not Bill Cosby in real life.
Bill Cosby from the Cosby
So my
Show.
favorite TV dad is not Bill Cosby. It's Heathcliff Huxtable. And there is a difference.
Okay.
But no, my dad, I mean, for those two who are missing their fathers, whose fathers have passed away, we are praying for you all during this time. Well, I'm not praying because I'm one of them. I'm just being real. I'm sorry.
I'll pray. I'll say the prayers. I'm here for all of us, okay?
All I'm saying
As someone who didn't talk about their absent father on Father's Day, I'll pray for the people with daddies that were good, that no longer have them.
I'll just go to God in prayer, and that was the prayer. I'm praying for you, and that was the prayer. I'm praying for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I hate Father's Day now just because of the fact that, my father obviously has passed away.
That's fair.
And yes, it would be easy for me to celebrate other people's fathers, but no.
You don't have to.
I'm not going to.
You don't have to.
No, this is a day of mourning for me. Not really mourning, but just kind of like...
solemn.
It's just don't think about it.
Like a neutral day?
Yeah, just a neutral day. Just like, meh.
Just another day.
And here's the thing, because Father's Day is so shitty for men, you don't really see a whole lot of posts other than the negative
and
ones.
That's
versus Mother's Day, you see the lineage and the legacy and blah blah blah. Father's Day, this deadbeat motherfucker. I want to shut out my mama who was my mom and my dad. What the fuck? So it's annoying.
God damn.
Just let the men have something. Jesus.
I know.
It's crazy. What were you telling me about your coworkers? Oh, I was telling you about my coworkers. Never mind. Just kidding.
She does this all the time.
Sorry, because I forget which stories are mine, which stories are hers.
Because we're so similar.
And the thing is, we don't come up with topics until we actually press
That's
record.
True.
Anywho, so this past week at work, you were asking me earlier what happened at work.
Hey, what happened with your coworkers this week?
Yeah, I think my coworkers are really weird. I'm gonna tell you why. Well, just coworkers in general, not just
Coworkers
specifically
are
mine.
very weird.
I think coworkers, because the past week, it's just been really hot, and you have to be very choosy with your words because I think everybody's attitude is very different when they're hot or hungry or whatever.
Right, we talked about that.
And, and just life happens, right? And so I think, especially in corporate spaces, I feel like Black women specifically, when we talk, there's something wrong, right? It's like, oh, she's so aggressive. Oh, she's just so mean and belligerent and disrespectful and condescending, berating, bullying, blah, 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 right? And so, and we're always labeled the angry Black woman. And then when we're quiet and we're silent, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, did I do something to you? why do you as a coworker think you've done something to me? Have you done something to me? Because why do you make it about you as opposed to maybe I just don't have anything to say? And I want to say to everybody out there who have coworkers, please know and understand, I don't care how much time you spend with these people, you do not know your coworkers.
No.
And for my coworkers, y'all don't have a clue about me. I will lie and tell you anything you want to hear.
Big liar.
Like, because if I tell you once, here's what I do at every new job. I always tell people, I do not discuss my personal life, which is very true. I do not discuss my personal life. Don't ask me if I'm married. Don't ask me if I have children. Don't ask me what my favorite color is. Don't ask me where I'm from. I'm not here for that.
And I don't even know half the shit about her.
I mean, we're on a podcast together. She still don't know shit about me.
True.
She didn't even know I was quitting my last job because I won't tell.
I will never forgive her for that.
Here's the thing, and I'm okay with that because don't trust your coworkers. I've been telling you this for years.
If there's one thing you've told me from the get.
Don't trust
your coworkers.
Exactly. So people just feel like, oh, we spend 8 hours a day. We're friends. No, we're not friends. We're stuck in this space for an extended period of time, unfortunately. And you and I have something in common that we can discuss or talk about. But that doesn't mean that we're friends. It doesn't mean that I want to hear all your deep, dark secrets. I don't. I just want to come to work, do my job, and get the fuck out of here and get my money.
If you haven't seen me multiple times on an outside of work basis in the last fiscal year,
right,
we're nothing but 9 to 5 acquaintances, some would call coworkers,
and that's okay,
and act accordingly, and that's okay. We would never, outside of this little circle, we would never interact. No, and that's all right.
That's okay. We don't have to be friends. And we're not friends.
And there's like a weird thing with coworkers where you can know parts of my life that I want to tell you, and those are our little things that we talk about all the time, and that's the surface level that I've let you get to know me. But that's what it is, a surface level. It's surface level. And you may think because my life's more exciting than yours, I'd give you more detail, and I'm a hell of a storyteller that you've been let in, but you haven't.
You haven't.
And you just got to remember that.
Just because you tell me about your kids or I tell you about my godsons and my nephew, that's not giving you any real information about me.
No. Also, I know people are sitting out there and they're like, black women always say that people think they're angry in the workplace because of the way they talk. It's true. Do you remember when we had...
Wait, what's true?
It's true that people think that black women
I thought you were saying it's true that black women... I was about to be... I'm done with you, bitch.
No. Do you remember you weren't... I don't think you were working there anymore, but we had a huge meeting with HR about disrespect in the workplace.
Oh, I was there.
You were there. You weren't in my group.
No, I was not. I was in some of your friends' group.
I had to have...
Some of our friends. Because they're my friends, too.
Our department was split into different groups of people. We had to have a sit-down discussion PowerPoint with members of human resources. And
do you remember why?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
One of the HR partners, a black woman, trying to relate to us and how we speak to each other and our supervisors to make it a more cohesive work environment, told us a story about how she was approached by a superior because she had a conversation with a coworker in which that coworker thought that she was being condescending, disrespectful, bullying, berating. But she was just trying to plainly communicate effectively the way she was feeling and what the issue was, because she didn't want any outside like emotion or just discourse. She just wanted to be like, hey, this is what I heard, this is how I feel,
right.
But that person felt like she was being aggressive in the way she was too nose on the head and and so this HR partner was like, and so that's why I had to change the tone of my voice and the way I talk to people. And we were like, but why? You didn't do anything wrong. And the fact that you're in here telling me that because that's how you communicate, and she told us this is how I usually communicate, but I can't do that here. And I'm like, so this is the problem.
Yeah. Well, I think too, I don't think people realize like black women in corporate spaces, we are exhausted. We're exhausted, like for real. 99.9% of us have to code switch. We shouldn't have to,
but you do.
But that's the way that the world unfortunately sees us. And so as a result, we have to code switch, because if I talk in my regular tone of voice, and this is not my regular tone of voice, this is my speaking voice, podcast voice, right? Just because I use curse words.
Sometimes you say shit, I'm like, damn.
But even the twang in which I say it, or the dialect in which I say it, is very different from the way that I talk to my real friends and family in real life, So I can joke and play around with you and sometimes it'll come out on the podcast, very rarely, but it does come out. But all I'm saying is that for me, this is not the regular or the normal pitch in my voice. So when I talk to people, because I'm already a big black woman, when I walk into a space, my presence alone fills the space. Okay. Right. And I recognize that based off the audience that I'm in front of. And so as a result, I have to have this very high pitched voice when I talk. Good morning. How are you? How's your day going? So I don't scare the people, right? Because I'm already a big Black woman. But the way that I usually talk, this is where my voice is typically. So if I'm having a conversation with you and I'm saying, Alyssa, right now in this moment, you're really aggravating me. I have to say it like this.
So I don't think she's pissed.
So I don't think I'm exactly. And it's so first of all, it hurts to talk like that. Okay, that's number one. My voice is like Remy Ma, Tony Braxton. Damn. It hurts literally to talk like this all the time, and I'm nasally. I have to be nasally because it's in order to make sure that you don't feel offended. Why the fuck do I have to do that shit? It's stupid, but that's what they label us as. Yeah. You know, aggressive and bullying. You know, I just felt like she didn't speak to me this morning. Well, did you die, bitch? The fuck? And that's still not my normal tone of voice, even though I'm calling you a bitch. But still,
but I'm just like, annoying. You cannot talk to people and not be upset with them. You cannot want to have the same level of conversation. I have a life outside of work. Okay.
You know, I've even had conversations with people where if I'm, let's say you and I are conversing, or I've had this actually happen. Myself and one of our coworkers that we know and love, Jessica, right? I was having a conversation with her, and because I'm comfortable with her, I've been working with her for a very long time. And we are friends outside of work. Like, I consider her to be a real friend in real life. And so one day I was talking to her and I was using hand gestures and I was doing kind of this, right? You can't hear the conversation I'm having with her. So another coworker saw that and they were like, hey, is everything okay between so-and-so, you and so-and-so? And I was like, well, what would give you the impression that it's not? Well, I just saw you in the way, you know, it was almost like you were yelling at her and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, did that person come to you and tell you that I was yelling at them? Well, no. Well, how about you believe none of what you see and half of what you hear, bitch? Get the fuck out of my face.
And this is why just people are busybodies.
You're bored in your own personal life, which is why you have to come to work and create drama and scenarios and make yourself the main character because you are so insignificant in your life. Here's the thing also, too. I, as a woman who lives... Well, I don't know if I want to say that.
Yep, back it up.
Okay, so...
Living as a woman in America.
Right? I love silence sometimes, right? A lot of times. And I will have conversations with myself because I'm very funny, right? And so I think that's
no better company.
Exactly. And I feel like that's a normal level of intelligence to talk to yourself, right? When I go to work, even on the way to work, I will make up scenarios. And I know people try to say, oh, that's a sign of borderline personality. Shut the fuck up. You ain't no psychologist. No, it's not. Anywho. Here's the thing. When I get to work, there is a certain level of talking that I need to do to get out of my system before I get to work. So I don't do that at work. That's called a self-check, right? So once I get to work, I expect everybody else to do the same thing. When I get to work, I don't want to talk about, oh, I had this salad yesterday that was so amazing and so good and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Talk to your husband about that. Talk to your kids about that. You don't need to come in and tell me and then you leave me and then you go to the next coworker and tell them the same exact goddamn story.
I gotta hear it again.
Like, I just need everybody to shut up. I just really do. I really do. And even like, do you care about people who talk about their kids at work? Is that a pet peeve for you?
You already know I cannot stand unless I'm invested in your child's life, unless they're calling me auntie.
Yeah.
Unless I bring it up, I do not want to hear about it. This is your time to be away from that.
Yeah.
New moms, I'll give it to you. Whatever. You're attached. Okay.
Okay.
But for the most part, unless someone's asking you about it, no one wants to hear about your personal life unless they're asking about it.
True.
Okay.
Very true.
Everyone has shit going on.
That's very true.
Why?
Yeah. And well, because
you like kids.
I do like kids. I love kids. I'm
not saying I don't like kids. I just like people love to talk about shit at work, and I just don't want to talk about it.
True. I'm the same.
I just want to talk about me all the time at work. So unless you want to talk about me or something I'm interested in, don't fucking talk to me.
True. I agree. Well, the only reason why I would say that is because I listened to this one other podcast called not one other. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but there's this one specific podcast that I listen to called I've Had It. First of all, they're fucking hilarious.
Love those women.
Oh, I want Bravo. This is my official request for Bravo to bring back the I Have It ladies. I can't remember their name. I know one of the ladies is Pumps. Just please bring that show back. They were so freaking hilarious.
Where are they from?
It's the Midwest somewhere. They're in the Midwest.
Let's see what they're.
What was the show?
Jennifer Welch and Angie Pumps Sullivan.
Yes, Pumps is hilarious, but Jennifer and Pumps together. There was a third friend, but what was the name of the show though? On
Bravo.
On Bravo, yeah.
Were they sitting with Andy Cohen or something?
No. It was a reality show.
Sweet Home Oklahoma.
Yeah, Sweet Home Oklahoma. That's what it was called. It was only one season of it though, but it was so good.
They're Okies.
Yeah, so Jennifer is an interior designer. Pumps is a lawyer, and then there was a third friend. I can't remember what she did. I think she was a real estate agent. But anyway, so I was listening to their podcast, and they brought up a subject matter where they were talking about, there was People Magazine ran this story about this young lady who said that she no longer wanted to go on girls' trips with her friends because she didn't want to hear about their marriage and their children.
I did see that.
And I am a very different person. So most of my friend circle, they are all married. Not all of them, but most of them are married and have children. And so when we go on girls' trips and stuff like that without the kids, I'm probably the only one that brings up the children because I don't live in the same state as some of them. And so I don't get to see their children other than just like FaceTime or like pictures and stuff like that. Or I get to talk to them on the phone, but I don't see them in person as much as I would like to. And so when I go on girls' trips, like my friends don't really talk about their kids, but I want to hear about their children because you're actively married and I'm invested in their lives. And also too, this is the time for you to really talk about, what you need as a mother, as a wife, whatever the case may be, whatever way you want to vent. Like, I don't understand why people would have an issue with their friends talking about their lives, i.e. their husbands and their children.
So I watched that. I think it was a TikTok video from my recollection of this woman who was just like, I've had it with girls' trips. I'm not going to listen to you talk about your kids and your husband, which on one side I can understand, because if you have a friend who's really annoying and only wants to talk about their kid and their husband, you wouldn't be my friend because my friends are cool and socially aware. But B, bitch, those are your friends. And if that's what they're dealing with, they want to talk about it. What do you mean you don't want to go on a trip with them and have them talk to you about their life?
I mean, but what are your friends really talking about with regard to their husbands and their children that are that's
Maybe
annoying
if it's
to you?
that like annoying like beginning of the morning office talk, like, oh, my kids did this and they're doing this and they're going to school here and we have to do this. Like just that normal stuff where you're like, you're just talking to talk. Like, stop.
Yeah.
But I'm like, every time I go on a girls' trip, first of all, none of my friends have kids. So I don't know if that, I would hope it doesn't change this. We don't talk about, I don't know. We do talk a little bit about work and like everyone has their little time where they can be like, all right, this is what's happening in my relationship. I've been thinking about it. I got to download and vent.
Yeah.
You're allotted that time because everyone wants to talk and have feedback. But we're just like yapping and giggling and talking about shit. I don't know.
Most of the time, we're just reminiscing about shit we used to do as kids. Like, I mean, my friends are not like overbearing and obnoxious about, oh my God, my husband did this today. Because all I'm going to say is leave his ass. Or if you tell me your child did something crazy.
Tomato, I'm like, whoop him.
And that's all I'm going to say. I'm like, beat his ass, beat your kid's ass. But also, too, I'm the one that's like, even when I go out with my friends or we're going somewhere, a lot of times some of my friends will be like, oh, well, I have to bring the kids, as if your kids are like a burden. And I'm like, I love your children. Like, I understand that when I go out with you, your kids are going to be there and I want your kids to be there, which is why we're going to the trampoline park, bitch. Like, obviously we're not going for our old fat asses. Like, we're going for the kids. Like, and I don't mind. That's like, I don't want to do anything that crazy or illegal where you can't bring your kids. And what kind of friends do you have? I mean, but even if you're drinking, even if you want to drink, you can drink with people's kids around. I mean, also, don't get pissy drunk. But I
don't know. I don't have friends that have kids, but don't you? Well, I guess, okay, yes, I do. Marissa has kids, Marina has kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's very different. Because they don't drink with me anymore. That's why it doesn't feel like we're friends. But don't you love your friends' kids? They're like little versions of your friends. So,
I love my kids'
you want them to talk about them and be around them and
know.
That lady sounds miserable. I don't know who you are.
She must have horrible friends or she's a horrible friend.
Something's not right.
Because I would never, like, even when people like apologize, oh, I have to bring the baby. Bitch, I don't want to even see you. I want to see the baby. And just like we went out the other week and Marissa didn't bring her son. And I'm like,
where's the baby?
Where's the baby, bitch? You're only the vehicle for the baby to get here. I don't want to fucking see you. I can talk to you anytime I want to, but I can't be around the baby anytime I want to.
And I especially wouldn't go take my ass to social media and be like, let me tell you about how shitty my friends are and how I don't want to go on trips with them.
That's just
I'm like, who was in the comments section of that video? Other women who are like, yeah, going out with your friends is trash. They all talk about their, just because you are not married and all your other friends are married, just because you don't have kids and all your other friends have kids, just because you're not in the same part of life that they are, doesn't mean what they're doing is boring or annoying or lame. And same to you. If they were all married and had kids and you just want to talk about how you're dating all these people, or you're not dating anybody, or you're doing this and that.
Because it looks like jealousy.
You would be so annoyed if they're like, we don't want to hang out with you because you just want to talk about how you're working really hard and dating people and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of turns into jealousy. Like, you know, it's like you say, it's different if that person is being very obnoxious, like every single word, they're just saying it just to fill the space. But for those people who genuinely are just, oh, like, yeah, my son, he made the honor roll. Oh my God, that is so amazing. So what is he doing now? Like, is he in extracurricular activities? Tell me when his football games are, his basketball games, his debate club, whatever the case may be. Like, I mean, I love my friends' children. And I want to see them do well because, again, I know who your parents are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you are just extensions of your parents. I mean, me and your parents, we have our relationship. We have our friendship. You know, my best friend. My best friend and I, her husband, we've all went to high school together. And so we've grown up together. And so, like, I call him, like, my boo. And it's like an inside joke or whatever. But even with him, things that are happening with him and his...
Did it start when you were younger? You were his?
My boo, yeah. Shouts out to my boo. You know who you are.
His boo.
But even too, accomplishments that he has, because I look at him as a brother. He's like a brother to me, and that's how most of my friends, you know, spouses are. I look at them as family, and so, you know, I want to know how they're doing. Like, how are they doing with their jobs? Like, anything that they're doing, they're working on, and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to always just, and because too, I call my friends' husbands for different things because I do not have a husband just yet, and so you know, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I only want your husband when I need him for something. Like, you know, I want to be invested in your husband's life as well too. Like, you know,
like, they love you, I love you.
We're
I'm
friends.
invested.
We're all friends. I want to know what's going on in his life, and not to pry into his life just because I want to be nosy, but I want to know that they're doing well. And so I just don't understand, like, what type of friends do you have, or what are y'all trying to do so much so that you don't want to hear about your friend's family? Like, that just makes no sense.
I'm thinking that it's one of those things maybe where she's like, all the women with kids or husbands like are in these conversations just talking about their kids and their husbands, and she's feeling left out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know what that feels like because my friends are awesome and they would never do that to me. Also, I wouldn't feel left out because, once again,
I mean, most of my friends have
obsessed,
kids.
I'm obsessed.
Most of my friends have, and especially too, like, one of my friends, actually Dr. Dandridge, her daughter just graduated high school, and I'm like, high school, what the hell? Like, I remember when this little girl was born, and so to be able to see my friends' children grow, and even, you know, when she was running track and field, and, you know, doing all these different things. Oh, this one's playing football. This one's just won an award for whatever. This one just graduated college, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I feel like, you know, the sexy single auntie. You know what I mean? Like,
also, get some new fucking friends.
Or just stop being hateful on your friends already, because you don't have what they have. Like, be comfortable being who you are in that space for them, because you are also too. There are times where you may vent to them about relationships that you're in. So then, what if you keep talking about your relationships? Is that not fair for you to be able to talk about whatever relationships you have, and then they can't talk about their husbands and kids? Like, that's unfair.
Because I can guarantee you, if they all went on a trip and said, "Oh, we didn't invite you because you don't have kids or a husband, and we don't want you there to be," like,
you'll be pissed. You'll be pissed.
Also, that's really fucked up, and I hope they don't do that. But
yeah, no. I mean, if you go somewhere, like if you go to Disney World or something like that, and you're like, hey, we're going as a family, and you didn't invite me, there's a reason why you didn't invite me. But my friends don't do shit like that, because if they're going as a family and they ain't invite nobody else, and I don't feel bad. But now if you invited the whole friend group and you didn't give me the option to go.
We didn't think you'd want to go. Fuck off.
Since when? But I'm always saying, where the fuck are the kids? Like, what the hell? But yeah, no, I don't subscribe to that.
I don't know what it's like because I have great friends, so sorry.
My friends are great too, even though they have children. I think that's the better part of them.
My friends are great even though they have kids.
They're greater because they have kids. That's all I'm saying.
So that's a normal part of life. People fucking have kids.
Exactly, and you should want to grow with them. Speaking of kids, so y'all know that a lot of football players, basketball players, they have these camps, right, for children, teaching them fundamentals of basketball, football, all these different sports.
Buck in the summer.
Exactly. So our beloved former NFL star Marshawn Lynch, aka the Beast,
a man of the people,
amazing. I wish I could mail him some Skittles right now, because you know his favorite candy is Skittles. Anywho, so he has a camp that he threw. And there's this video that's been going viral of these two moms, aka these two Karens, that's basically been kind kind of called out for yelling at him and being upset with him because he cursed at their child. And in the video, he basically said, listen, I do cuss a lot and I'm going to yell at the kids. I really don't care about your feelings. Like, I'm going to yell at these kids because
sports, baby.
It's sports. And also, too, he was like, and if your child is taking too long to get to the line and do what I tell them to do, and the lady was like, well, you're going to just tell him just to get your ass out of my camp or get the fuck out of my camp. He was like, absolutely. And he did the most respectful thing. He said, is there a man here with you? And the lady was like, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, I'm not about to argue with you. Like, is there a man that's here?
Because I feel like I'm gonna throw hands is basically what he was trying to say.
Well, no, I think he was trying to say, I'm trying to be respectful and not argue with the woman. So where is the father? Because this is why fathers are so important.
Little chihuahuas.
Well, here's the thing too. This is why we have school shooters. And it's because specifically Karens in the world are not allowing men to yell at their kids. Like, you cannot expect your child to be in organized sports and never get yelled or cussed at. I did my finest work as an athlete and as a student when I got cussed at by teachers.
Also, I don't know, again, don't have kids, don't know how to teach this to kids, don't know how to teach this to people. Also, this is coming from someone who doesn't like being yelled at. I say it's because I have daddy issues and I don't like men yelling at me.
Your mom didn't yell at you? You have a white mom.
I have quiet house. We have quiet house. Shh.
Your white mom did not yell at you?
My mom has teacher voice, which is just loud, but she doesn't yell. She's not a yeller.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
There is a difference between yelling at someone and like screaming, berating, bullying. There's a difference with someone just shouting at you in an appropriate context, i.e. sports, and someone who is just doing the most and it's mean and inappropriate. Yeah. And not just because someone's voice is elevated and they're, telling
using
you to
profanity.
That doesn't necessarily mean, but I don't know.
I don't understand how you feel. Like, how do you expect your child to understand the way of the world if they are not if their tough skin is not developed? If you are always coddling and just, yes, sugar, yes, hun bun, I understand. Let's use our inside voice. The whole world does not operate like that.
Well, here's the even better thing. It's not school.
It's not
school. You paid to be there. So guess what? You saw that happen. You didn't fucking like it. You pull your kid out. You're done.
And my thing is too, for you as a parent, I'm sorry, any camp that you put your child in, I would be remiss to say most parents are doing some type of research, right? And if you see a particular NFL or professional athlete who was putting on a camp, 10 times out of 10, you have probably watched them in action, right? So we know that Marshawn Lynch, he's not called the Beast for no fucking reason.
It's not like you sent him to Kirk Cousins' fucking Christian camp
That's
and you're like,
saying.
I cannot believe this man was yelling at my child.
This is Marshawn Lynch who legit went in front of national media on a regular basis and said, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
That man is not
I'm just here so I won't get fined. Like, and he's seen in beast mode. So if you're sending your child to this camp, you sought out the information, you researched to know exactly where it is, when it was, how much it cost,
and who
was putting it on. I don't know why you and your feeble mind would think that Marshawn is coming out there, hey buddies, we're gonna have some fun today, we're gonna have a great time. No, like get your ass to the line and run.
It's like a badge of honor though. I feel like if Marshawn Lynch cussed me out, I'd be like, I got cussed out when I was 8 by Marshawn Lynch. That would be like my party.
That's what I'm saying.
They're like 2 truths and a lie.
It builds character.
I'm saying everyone needs to get cussed out.
Yes.
Everyone needs to get their ass beat.
It's okay.
Everyone needs to be left to fend for themselves. Everyone needs to starve for a couple
I'm
days.
not sure what type of apocalyptic, utopian universe
we're making men.
But, I think men need to be able to be, little boys need to be able to be talked to nicely and roughly. I think it's not a delicate balance. It's a very thick line.
What did Tyra say? I'm yelling at you because I love you.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's how that was.
Some kids only understand yelling. I remember my band director, former band director in high school. He said it all the time. He's like, "Some of you motherfuckers need to be talked to like this." And I'm like, you know what, Mr. Dunlap, you're right.
Not me, but okay, I get it.
Not me, because first of all, I don't like getting in trouble. Sometimes it depends on who you are, and especially if I respect you, I don't want to get in trouble by you. Now, if I don't respect you, I don't give a fuck what you say, and I'm gonna just be a tyrant. But I mean, kids are gonna be yelled at in sports, like. These kids nowadays,
I feel like that's I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm from Texas.
In the South, it's normal. I feel like
people just fucking yell, like especially in sports, yelling all the time.
Yeah, And see, even
everyone gets yelled at.
Even too, I think also culturally, like in the black households, I'm not speaking for all black households. I'm speaking for my black ass household. My mom is not a very loud person, right? She's not. She doesn't. Her volume is not loud. She's very docile. She's very passive. But when she got that belt in her hand, she turned into a totally different person, right? And it took a lot to get her to that point. Now, my dad, the volume on his voice, very loud, right? Understandably. And he didn't play all that shit. So if my mom talked too much, he would get up and get the belt and whoop our ass. He didn't give a fuck that we were girls. He really did not. He did not give a shit. But also too, my parents didn't cuss. I've never heard my parents curse a day in my life. But my coaches that I had, they cussed and they, yelled because they saw the potential that we had to be great at whatever we were doing. And sometimes everybody can't handle it, but for the majority of us, we can handle being cussed at and knowing that our coaches love us and that they just want to see the best for us.
Yeah.
And also, that there's not abuse.
From the video that I saw, they were just these women were being fucking annoying. It wasn't like
they were following him around too.
It wasn't like they went up to him and said, "Hey, can I talk to you? My son is crying. I don't appreciate that you talk to him like that." They were just like, Marshawn Lynch was being very, for the most part, from what I saw, calm, cool, collected, as he could have been. And they were just kind of like, following him around, kind of egging him on, like they wanted him to yell at them or do something crazy. Yeah. And I was like, if this was really just about him yelling at your kids and you being frustrated, you would have said that. He would have said what he said, which is like, I talk to all the kids like this. This is how I'm going to talk to the kids if you don't like it. And you would have fucking left. Exactly.
But you wanted to make a scene and my kid's crying because they're embarrassed because you're embarrassing the fuck out of your kid by doing that in front of everybody else. My son is crying right now. He's crying because you're embarrassing him, ma'am. Go sit the fuck down.
I'm like, how do you play football without yelling? Football is yelling. They all have CTE. They can't fucking hear.
Now, if this were tennis, it would be a very different story.
Swimming.
Fencing. Well, swimming, you would have to yell because you can't hear underwater. Just saying. But football, you got a helmet on. You can't hear anything.
You can't hear shit.
But yeah, it's insane. I'll tell you what you can't hear. The sounds of the trumpet for war. That's a siren for war. So I'm not sure if y'all noticed or not, but while we were yet asleep and tucked in our sheets and swallowing clothes,
link it up here.
The House of Representatives decided to, as they always do, sneakily vote for a defense bill that included draft automatically registering all 18 to 26-year-olds into the United States draft. Now, volunteering in the USA draft has always been a thing, right? So on your voter registration, on other things, you can say, yes, I volunteer. If there is a draft, I volunteer as tribute. Now you have no choice. And they also included women in this shit. So men and women ages 18 to 26, you have no choice at this point. So if they draft you for the war, for whatever war, you will be you're automatically registered at this point. Well, if it passes the Senate, which again we know it's going to be a Republican-led bill, and so they are going to pass it.
Unfortunately, I talked a lot of shit about turning 30.
Listen, I have never been more excited to be in my late 30s.
War? Are you kidding me? Look at me. I just told you I don't like people yelling at me.
I'm not going to war for this country. I'm not.
I told you I don't like talking to people at work before fucking 8.
I would be the worst soldier in the world.
I have asthma. I have gut issues. I just got a parasite. That has to knock me off the list.
I would shoot anything moving. I'm not
taking glasses. Bitch, can you imagine
glasses? I wear glasses.
I know. There's no way.
I don't wear... Listen, I'm shooting... I don't take directions from people yelling at me. I do. I can because I grew up like that, right? But at this stage in the game, noise bothers me. So if I'm not a sniper, I can't do it.
Can I jump? Y'all, every time there's a loud noise, I jump. My nervous system. Oh my God. What about my meds? Do you think I even get my meds?
You're not going to have enough Vyvanse to survive.
No way. No. I would have to. Can you imagine me like having to barter and sell my Vyvanse for stuff?
Yeah.
Like cigs and food.
Cigs? Not even cigarettes, just cigs.
We're in it. I'm in this war, bitch.
I would be the worst soldier. First of all, I got a bad back and bad knees.
You do have a bad back.
So I'd be like, I'm sorry, how far is Charlie from here? What the fuck?
She'll be like, yeah.
I'd be like 25 mics over here. Mics? How much is that? Is that miles?
Oh, listen, give me a couple of Vyvanse. I got to buy this guy off. He's got to send something down to the next camp.
Y'all ain't got no... Can I get in the truck? Because I'm not walking 25 miles. To Charlie, he better come find me.
Maybe because we have master's degrees, we could just do therapy stuff.
Listen, even with my doctorate, I'm not doing it. I'm not rehabbing somebody in a war zone. What you need physical therapy for?
Oof, that doesn't look good.
I will wait till you come back to the States to your Army hospital, and then that's what we gonna do. I'm not doing it, man.
I'm telling y'all right now. I know you just need bodies, but my body's not the one you want.
Well, this is why too. I think and I've heard this discourse on social media that people were talking about. Well, this is why they open up the borders and let everybody come in, because now these illegal aliens are 18 to 26. They just let them on in. They're gonna have to fight for the United States. And I'm like, y'all realize
they're not registered,
but they've been doing that though. They've done that before.
Oh, like they did the last time?
Yeah. So they basically said that we will give you citizenship if you fight for this country.
And then they come back, they're fucked up. They have no
and then
rights.
They deploy. They deport
resources.
them. Yeah. And then they just deport them back to their countries. Unfortunately,
body to body.
the United States is always using people for fucking war. That's all they do. And because too, the military enrollment rate has gone down significantly, and I think I don't think it's just the United States either. I think other countries are in the same boat as us. I ain't did no research on this shit. This is me assuming, but I would assume that most people, because information is readily available at this point in time, and people are more educated, and they see stuff in real time that's happening in other people's countries, and so they're like, wait a minute, why are we fighting when Joe Biden and Putin got an issue with each other? Why the fuck are we involved in this fuck shit? Let them go duke it out and call it a fucking day.
People also now realize I don't have to go to college or nothing. Like, it was college or military. True. There's people make great, some would say even better livings than the people who go to college by not going to college. And there's resources now to do that and learn about that. So it's not your only option anymore. Absolutely. And people are realizing, like, the big draw of the military was the benefits.
Yeah.
What benefits?
As soon as you get injured, you're no longer viable to them.
Yeah. So
they throw you away like scraps.
What if they said 1 year active duty, we would only be doing our jobs now just over there on the lines?
Behind the lines? Can't be on the line, bitch.
Behind the line.
How many long-arm quads can you do on the lines?
I'm like, God, have you brushed your teeth today? They're like, we haven't had a toothbrush in months.
You know, walker, sir.
Okay. But they'd pay off all your loans.
For 1 year?
365.
Okay, what country are we in?
You wouldn't know. They would just send you wherever.
But we've been at like a military hospital base?
Correct.
I would do it.
I think I would do it too.
Absolutely,
I'd be like, can I stick with her?
Yeah.
If you send us together, I'll go.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would do it. Yeah. But you have to pay off all my student loans.
Yeah, I want to see a zero.
It needs to be zero before. No. It needs to be zero before I leave, bitch. It needs to be zero before I leave. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would definitely do that. What kind of benefits do I get coming back though?
Your loan's paid off. Oh, what if they gave you? What do you want? TRICARE for life?
But I don't want you. That's horrible insurance. But allegedly,
we've heard. I don't know.
No, but I mean, my bills need to be paid, so I still need to be paid a salary so I can survive.
Yeah. No, okay. Like you would still. I mean, your house. Like, what if they said, okay, we'll pay you a stipend, we'll pay you a salary. It won't be anything like exorbitant, but
what you're making now.
I
would do that.
And then you would have
a year in exchange. Absolutely.
I think we could do it.
But after a year, you can't.
Yeah,
give
no,
me that.
I want it cut. I'm not extending.
Hell no. I would do it. I would absolutely do it.
And if some scary shit happens real, I want to come back.
Listen, I just disappear and go AWOL. They ain't gonna know where the fuck I'm at. They not. But you can't put a track on me though. We ain't doing that.
No.
But no, I would do it. Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
If only if I could do it with you.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. I agree.
I need a lifeline.
I agree. So me, you, Jessica, can we?
Perfect. Got it.
That's the best.
We'd be like, leave the kids, bitches.
Leave the kids. But it's kind of fucked up because they put this shit in like these defense bills, and it's like Congress is so fucked up.
A Trojan horse.
They put it's like 90,000 things in a bill, and it's like save the earth, save the babies, save the children, save the horses, save the elephants, but we gonna blow your toe off.
And you're like, whoa.
Do you accept? It's like,
everything else sounds so good.
It sounds so good. Medicare for all.
I really do like my toe.
Healthcare for all. But we gonna blow off your arm and it's never gonna heal. But all these other things will happen.
Like, I didn't read that part.
That's why I hate Congress. Oh, the government is so fucked up. What were you talking about? Schools in Bogota.
Okay, speaking of schools in Colombia.
Because we work.
There is a like daddy day school put on by the city of Bogota in Colombia, and you get like a little doll and diapers and stuff, and it teaches men who want to be more active fathers how to like do their child's hair and change a diaper and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like daddy daycare, but not for kids.
Do we have something like that in the United States?
I'm sure maybe somewhere. I just have never heard of it. But I just thought how interesting that there's a whole class you need to take to become a dad.
I think that needs I think that should be an automatic thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. Unfortunately, in certain cultures, men learning how to do quote unquote societal gender roles and responsibilities is frowned upon and looked at as gay. Right, so when a little boy wants to play,
like, God forbid you help take care of your home and child.
Exactly, like when little boys are trying to play house and they want to cook in the kitchen, or they want to play with the little washer and dryer play set. It's like, that's gay. Go play with some guns, or some GI Joes. Whoa! And this is why your 40-year-old son don't know how to wash no damn clothes because you've never taught him how to wash clothes.
Can't take care of his damn self. Has to get married. Exactly. Doesn't know how to treat a woman because he can't, emotionally communicate.
So I think that's just the responsibility of both parents. Both parents need to teach these young boys how to be productive citizens of society. And productive citizens of society doesn't just mean you know how to pay bills on time, you know how to wash a car, you know how to cut grass. Can you cook for yourself and fend for yourself? Right. Can you clean?
I think this should be a mandatory class in every high school.
Bring back home ec
that every man has to take. And it's just like, okay, here's how to cook, clean, change a diaper, feed a child, wash your own ass, be a respectful human being.
Did you ever have to have to take a baby home with you, or an egg?
I didn't, but we had that class.
I did. I had to take home an egg, and you had to make it survive for like the day. We got to dress it up and shit. And we only had it for, I think it was like for 2 days. That we had, one of my cousins, she had to end up taking care of an actual like one of those electronic babies or whatever.
Fucking annoying with the little bracelet.
Yes,
when you stop crying.
and if you gave the baby shaking baby syndrome, they would know. I think we need to bring that back. I really think we need to bring that back.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is a huge discrepancy in gender equality in the home still. It's gotten better.
Yeah,
but still, I don't think men are given the opportunity necessarily. Like, everyone waits until the baby's here, they're living in the house, and then they're pissed off. Like, how do you not know this?
And you're expected to know it when nobody has sat down and talked to you.
Right, and your whole life, for the most part, women have been doing these things for you, and then you're just like, oh shit, I guess I never realized that my mom washed my clothes and cleaned my room this whole time. I thought it just fucking happened.
Exactly. Just take out the trash and wash the dishes, but no, don't help with your sister's hair, or ironing clothes or whatever.
So which is crazy. I think it's a very neat idea, especially that it's put on by the city. I thought it was interesting. Care School for Men, that's what it's called.
I love that. Well, speaking of men, we're diverting to prison. What were you talking about? Prison paper?
Another happy thing. Not a happy thing. I just fucking love prison, dude. I don't know what it is.
Please don't say that too loud.
I don't know if in another I just think it's...
Were you a warden in another one?
I don't know. I think I watched Shawshank a lot when I was younger.
Shawshank is one of my favorite movies.
Come on. It's a great movie. Prison is such an interesting concept to me because I think your whole life can be boiled down to one unfortunate event, for better or for worse. You're thrust in, and it's just like such an interesting social study of these people who have to figure out how to be human beings in this strange situation. All that to say, there is a prison newspaper for this prison in Stillwater, Minnesota.
Okay.
That's been it's been publishing since 1886. Isn't that insane?
Does it publish out to the public or just inside the prison
Not really.
system?
It's pretty much just inside the prison, but they do like book reviews and movie reviews, and they'll do pieces on different inmates. Like, there's an inmate who likes to do art, so they kind of interviewed him about the things he likes to paint. I love that. And I just fucking love that shit.
Because you know what it is? The reason why you love prison is because you love the rehabilitation aspect of it.
That would make sense.
The part that they actually do try to rehab, which is very little.
It is very little. But I just love that. These men are still like, journalism is not dead. There's things to be said in here. We have this life. It's a little town community. It's like one of the only prison newspapers. I think there were only 6. And then in the last couple of years, they've had this big push. There's a nonprofit that's trying to up prison media and journalism. That's like that Ear Hustle podcast. Did you ever listen to that?
Ear Hustle? Who did that?
It's a group of inmates who do a podcast about
prison?
Their life in prison.
Wow. No, I've never.
So they do all the podcasting and the editing and stuff in the prison.
See, life skills that can translate to be what? Productive citizen of society.
Yeah. And I'm just like, how
Real
interesting.
rehabilitation.
And in my head, I know this is not how it is, but I see like, you know, reporters going around with little microphones.
On Cell Block 6 today at 6. Tune in.
The night beat. Yeah.
Lunch today is apple juice, grilled cheese, and milk.
Exactly.
Well, that's interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
The basic form of communication is writing.
It's called
you know?
The Prison Mirror, and it's one of the oldest prison newspapers in the country.
That's awesome.
And I think
that.
only but they have a little newsroom, and they type up their
Yeah.
reports, and only a certain amount of inmates can actually.
Imagine if they had like a blog in there, like
Can
a
you
gossip,
imagine?
like a shade room in the prison.
Like a Bridgerton situation.
Right.
Page 6.
That's hilarious. But I love that though.
Yeah.
I mean that's the building blocks of, you know, scholastic academia. I love that.
Yeah, like your life doesn't your life doesn't end when you're in prison.
No, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. Some people are there for so long, and you
Yeah.
have, I don't know. There's still people with hobbies and interests, and
Absolutely.
you know,
They shouldn't be
things to do,
defined by their
talents.
mistakes.
Speaking of talents,
Some of them.
I feel my brain. This is a side quest. I
Okay.
feel my brain starting to like lull sometimes. Like I need to either go get another degree or something.
Don't do it. Don't
I know,
do it.
but do you know how you get the itch? You're like, I think I'm like stagnant.
Yes, which is why I have 4 degrees.
Right. Okay.
Don't do
So I know. I hear you. Yes, you're usually right. Cool. When I tell you, I was literally looking at PhD programs the other day, and I was like, stop, click out.
You know what that is? I've been seeing this discourse on TikTok, and it's called Black Girl Boredom.
Oof.
Black Girl Boredom is a real thing.
I almost was looking at med schools the other day.
And I fell for it because I'm gonna tell you why. When I finished PT school, that was my 3rd degree, and I was like, I'm gonna go to med school. I reached out to one of my former classmates from middle school. She's an OBGYN. She works now at the university. Well, she went to the University of Miami, but she used to work in New York. And I called her and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about going to med school. Blah 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 blah. Knowing good well I ain't had no fucking money for med school. No time for med school either. And I had this whole thing, and I was just bored. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go back to med school. I'm just going to go and get my MBA. And I went and got an MBA.
Yep.
And now have 3 professional certifications. I'm telling you, as a person who fell for the trap of black girl boredom, don't do it.
I'm literally sitting here.
Don't do it.
For 2 days, I was like, I think I could really, if I buckle down, go to med school. And I was
No.
like, you're crazy, but
No.
maybe you could get a PhD. So I'm in that little slump. But what I think I'm going to do is
Just go to prison.
This is my formal announcement that I will be joining the prison system. No.
As an employee, not as an inmate.
Oh, yeah, not as an inmate. I think I'm going to start doing crossword puzzles.
That's a better hobby to have.
Because
less expensive.
they're so hard for me.
Yeah.
Have you done a crossword puzzle
I
lately?
love crossword puzzles. They're easy.
Am I stupid? They're hard.
Which one are you doing? The kids ones or the adult
No,
ones?
bitch, the fucking New York Times one.
Oh, I don't do those. No. I don't. That's Jeopardy. That's Jeopardy on paper. I'm not doing that stupid shit.
Today, because I've been thinking about it, and every time I try to sit and do like just a crossword puzzle randomly, I'm like, this shit's way too hard.
I'm confusing that with word search.
Bitch, I can do a damn word search.
I was like, wait, why is that so difficult? I'm telling you.
Who do you think I'm impaired?
Having too many degrees fries your brain. Don't do it. I'm telling you.
You
now.
look concerned.
I was
for a
like,
second.
what the fuck is it? Your finance isn't working.
Bitch, I can scan and find the letters.
I was like, that's easy. But I can do the kid. I can do the kid crossword puzzles.
Yes, no, I'm talking about the big kid crossword puzzles.
No.
And today I was at Barnes and Noble because they have all the books, and I was like, I think I need to sit down and start doing these, and I think it'll scratch my itch for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I do Sudoku. Like the adult Sudoku.
That's too many numbers.
I mean, it takes me a little while to do it, but I can do it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking.
Because it's just logic.
I walked myself off the bridge of higher education.
For everybody out there, for everyone, you ain't even got to be black to have black girl boredom. Do not, I repeat, do not go back and get another degree. That is the devil telling you to do it.
We rebuke
you. And we rebuke it in the name of Jesus. As a person who is sitting here with 4 degrees, okay, the highest being a doctorate. I have a degree at every level. I have an AA, I have a bachelor's, I have a master's, and I have a doctorate. Don't do it. Okay, I sound like the girl from Knucklebuck Farms. Emmanuel, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Emmanuels. Do not do it. I'm telling you.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
It.
Your return on investment, and I don't get a degree in hobbies, honey. Okay, this is in medicine and in business. Okay, these are things that should be lucrative. That is not lucrative right now.
It's not lucrative.
It's not lucrative the way it needs to be lucrative. Don't do it.
So I walked myself off that. It's that 5-year itch.
The fact that you researched that What were you researching getting a PhD in? Please indulge us.
I was like, well, I might as well just I'll keep doing OT shit, that way I can teach, right? But then I was like, oh, or now they do a PhD in rehab medicine. What the fuck would I do with that? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm trying to just fucking fill up the next couple years of my life.
Just get an MBA.
You know what? That sounds pretty good.
Twins.
Well, and then it's like, if you get a PhD, they'll give you a stipend and they'll pay your full tuition. And I was like, perfect. I just need to go get a PhD.
But then you would have a PhD and do what with it?
Great question. I don't know. Which is why I'm now doing word puzzles.
Which is why it's a trap. Don't do it.
Or crossword puzzle.
I'm telling you.
I know.
Don't do it.
Listen, I know. It was that spiral. You know, you get into that spiral.
Yeah.
It just started going.
2 years after I graduated with my doctorate in PT, I went back for my master's, for my MBA.
I know.
And it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard.
I think this would have hit sooner had we not had the pandemic, but the pandemic kind of pushed me because I didn't really get to do, you know.
Because your job was threatened every day.
Yeah. I was out here fighting for my fucking life.
They were like, oh, we're going to get rid of 50% of you bitches. And you were like, oh my God. Let me just stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay
so
here.
now that we're like off the pandemic, my job's going whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, I need a hit of something.
Not education.
I know, but that's just the easiest thing. It's what I know.
Yeah, but again, I fell for the trap. It's the devil.
I know.
It's the devil whispered in your ear.
I like that. Black Girl Boredom.
The devil is so busy. That's what we're going to name this episode. Black Girl Boredom. Don't do it.
The BGBs.
Don't do it. Well, speaking of another black girl who's not boring, Angel Reese. Let's talk about WNBA real quick. So in the WNBA recently,
this is now a sports podcast.
This is a sports podcast.
This is a sports
podcast. This is a political podcast. This is a talking
whatever
shit
you
podcast.
want it
Whatever
to be.
you want it to be. You know, we are here to please. Here's the thing. So the WNBA, of course, has been on fire this past season for more reasons than we want them to be on fire for. But anyway, all eyes are on them. So in the news recently, they announced the United States Olympic team for women's basketball, and you know, some of our faves were on there: Breonna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Asia Wilson, just a whole bunch of other amazing women, right? Brittany Griner. And so it was announced that Caitlin Clark would not be a part of that team, or well, it wasn't announced at all. They just didn't call her bitch name anyway. So that's how you know she wasn't on there.
Here's the team, and specifically who will not be on it
is Caitlin Clark. And this is not a Caitlin Clark hate podcast or whatever, but this is an Angel Reese Stan podcast. So anyway, people, these new fans who don't watch the WNBA were all up in arms. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that Caitlin Clark is not going to the Olympics. How in the hell? She's one of the most popular players and blah, blah, blah. And here's what I want y'all to understand. For those who do not watch the game of women's basketball, the Olympics does not care about popularity. Okay? They care about experience and they care about skill set. Also, you are going against some of the most amazing women in the world. True. I did not say the United States. I said the world. Now, some of the most amazing women players are in the WNBA who play for their respective home teams. Nigeria, Colombia, a host of other, different countries and whatnot. And so people were just in this uproar like, I will not be supporting and blah, blah, blah. Bitch, you ain't got the support. They're going to still come home with the gold medal because they done won the last 8. So
also, you haven't been supporting.
Which is why you have the stupid ass opinion that you have, because you haven't been supporting women's basketball. Also, too, there was a recent game that happened actually today between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever. Unfortunately, the Chicago Sky came up short. However, Angel Reese got a flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark because her and another teammate were going up. Caitlin had the ball. She was going up for a layup. Mm-hmm. Both of them were trying to block the shot. Now, obviously, if you're midair and you're trying to block something, you're not paying attention really to your hand. You're just trying to focus on the ball. Right. So, of course, unfortunately, Caitlin, well, not even unfortunately, it was a basketball play. And it happens all the time. Angel Reese swiped Caitlin Clark's head. Upside the head. Not with her hand. It was with her forearm as she was trying to block a shot. So of course people are making this whole thing, oh my God, Angel Reese, she's out here killing Caitlin Clark on the court. And it's like, it was a regular basketball play that your favorite men do all the time. Let it the fuck go. Like, I really hate what the WNBA has turned into, and I kind of wish
you kept it.
What?
You kept it?
Yes, absolutely. Because they're turning it into the league versus Caitlin, and no one gives a fuck about this girl.
Because I'm like, what are the benefits now? Okay, so they have more not notoriety, but publicity, right? But now the tickets are more expensive. The regular fans can't get seats like they used to. The players are coming under more heat for shit that.
And all we're talking about is Caitlin Clark.
And all they're talking about is Caitlin Clark.
And the thing is, if I were Caitlin, honestly, I would be pissed at the fans who support me or whomever.
She's probably having
these weird ass people.
Time.
Because too, you're saying that people are treating her different, and you have no level of respect for her game to say, you know what, we want to make the league easier for her. What the fuck?
And you know what? I don't think they're treating her necessarily different, but I think the more y'all talk, the harder they're gonna come in the game in general to show you she ain't shit. She's a rookie.
But they're not. That's the biggest thing. I think, again, for people who have not watched the WNBA, they have not seen what rookies go through in every sport. Okay, in every sport,
y'all are just making it harder for Caitlin Clark.
But I don't think that there are any women in the WNBA that are purposefully going after Caitlin Clark. They are playing basketball. Again, Caitlin Clark, I believe, is what, 21 years old, 22, maybe like that, 21, 22. She is playing against 30-year-olds, and Diana Taurasi is 40. This girl has been in the league for double-digit years. You really think she's gonna take it soft just because she's popular?
Simultaneously does and does not look 40.
Who, Diana Taurasi?
Yes.
Diana Taurasi is
42,
a beast.
dude.
She's a beast. So these women who have been playing in these leagues for a much longer time, and again, this is the best of the best. Why do you expect less from Caitlin Clark? And I think too, and this is just me assuming, if I were Caitlin Clark, I would be so pissed at the fans for just keeping my name in their mouth.
Right.
Like, yo, y'all are making this so difficult for me. Every time I step on the court, you're overanalyzing everything I do, everything I say, every time somebody comes at me, you're making it a thing, and it's not. And I really wish that she would get on the mic and just be like, hey, people, shut the fuck up and just watch me play.
This isn't college anymore.
Let it go.
It's like going from 8th grade to high school.
Oh, we gotta investigate the way that they're treating Caitlin Clark. You mean playing basketball? This is going back to the Marshawn Lynch thing. If you don't want to be at this level in the game, and I don't think that's not what Caitlin Clark is saying. All I'm saying is that if you don't want her to be at this level of the game, she needs to get out of this industry. Period. Because it's not going to get any easier for you.
This girl was trying to come in, put her head down, fucking be a rookie, and play the sport she's been trying to play for her whole life at the level she's been trying to play her whole life. And
she got chin checked. Oh my God. They broke her back.
That locker room is probably so crazy.
Well, people were talking about her teammates like, well, where the hell are her teammates? Y'all, she getting on their damn nerves too.
Probably because they're like, okay, everyone loves you. Go show them how they love you. You show off. You do all the things that they're saying that you can do. Play the game. Play the game
and shut the fuck up. Just play the game. But then even too, here's what I've been seeing recently, because with all the controversy that's been happening in the WNBA, I think I've always noticed this, and I haven't understood why they do this to the women only. But you know how, I don't know if you've seen any games this season, but in the past, they basically have been doing this thing where they will interview the coaches and have them like mic'd up and with the earpiece in while the game is actively going on. Oh my God. While they're in the middle of coaching and asking them dumb questions. So coach, what's the next play that you're going to play, or how are you going to do this? And
sports media so much.
Sports media for women specifically is so offhanded and fucking stupid. I don't understand how these people are literally fighting for their lives. This is their career, right? And they lose the biggest game of the season, and you're just like, so you guys lost by 31 points. How do you feel?
They're like, fucking great. Whoop-de-doo. I feel awesome. That's why I'm here after my loss.
Listen,
talking to you.
Kalia Copper, she is the best interviewer ever, because she will straight up tell you your questions are dumb. And I just need for the media to come with more intelligent questions. Stop asking stupid shit.
It's like they just got thrown into this media room, and they're like, how do you feel about losing?
Yeah, it's like they got high schoolers in there. These people cannot have journalism degrees, because the questions are like, why do athletes have to answer any questions about winning or losing? So you came out coaching, you guys came up short. What are you going to do next time? Better, bitch. What the fuck? What kind of stupid ass question is that?
Not lose.
We're gonna try our best not to lose again. Any other fucking questions? Even Teresa Weatherspoon, who's the head coach of the Chicago Sky, they asked her a question about Angel Reese at first, and then about her, her ability to translate and being, if she had the potential to be an Olympian and blah blah blah. And she was like, of course, everybody on my team has the absolute.
That's why they're fucking playing in the WNBA.
Listen,
because they are the top of their
their game. And then they asked her the second question right after that. It was like they keep asking the same question over and over and over again that these people are answering. And so they asked Teresa Witherspoon, like, oh, so what are you guys going to do to prepare for next game? She was like, bitch. And she just got the fuck up and she walked out. I was like, more power to you. I would have did the same thing. Why are you finding people saying that you have to go in here and answer these dumbass questions?
Answer these dumbass questions. I know you're tired and you just lost, but you will owe $100,000 if you do not.
It's just like, okay, like, you know how when track runners, they literally just finish running. And then they're like, so how do you feel about so-and-so? And they're like, well, I think I ran a good 10.5. And my goal was to run a 9.5. But, you know, I did the very best I could.
What the fuck do you think they're going to say?
Can you give them 2 minutes to just catch their breath? Let them shower. Let them change clothes. Interview the winner, okay? But the people who lost, so you didn't come out and you lost. And like this one interviewer, she asked Asia Wilson last year after they won the championship. She said, well, Asia, you had a failed repeat for the national championship against South Carolina, or against, I guess it was South Carolina. And I was like, bitch, have you ever won a championship in college? Let alone to go back to back? What the hell is wrong with your... Anyway. I think the media needs to just stop for women, because y'all would never do that shit to Pat Riley. Y'all would never do that to Phil Jackson. Y'all would never do that to Doc Rivers. Y'all would never put a microphone in these people's hand and a fucking earpiece in and ask them while they're in the middle of coaching to answer dumbass questions. You would never do that shit.
Never.
Anyway, anything? What have you been watching?
I just watched the documentary Brat on Hulu. It's about the Brat Pack, which were the group of actors in the 80s, like Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, Demi Moore, all those people. If you like John Hughes movies, that is any interest to you. It was a really good documentary.
And it's on Hulu or Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
I think that's it. I've been watching jack shit.
I watched... I'm almost finished with Rebel Moon Part 2.
Oh, that was a good one.
It was really good.
You're just now watching Rebel Moon Part 2?
Yeah.
I could have sworn you watched it earlier.
Nah.
Yeah, when did
but because it's really slow. That movie is very slow.
Is. It took me 2 times to watch the first one.
Yeah, because I started watching it last night and I fell asleep, so then I had to restart it. I was like, shit. But the thing is, Rebel Moon, or just most apocalyptic movies.
That movie got 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I believe it. Yeah. Because I'm watching it now and I'm just like, why am I watching this again? But I just want to finish the series. So hopefully there won't be a part 3.
They're lucky that Charlie Hunnam was in it, because that's why I watched it. This man.
Oh, who does he? Oh, yeah. He was in it. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I feel like most of these apocalyptic movies, I don't understand. I guess they're obviously telling us what's going to happen, but I don't understand why everything has to be desert and hot.
I would the world's going to burn up.
Yeah, but I just would really love an opportunity to just for it to be like flooded or something, or snowed. You know what I mean? Like
cold.
Why do we need heat and desert and dry?
Yeah.
You know, there's no water ever. Oh God, that's horrible. I also went to go see Bad Boys 4.
Bad Boys.
I'm gonna just say this: if you are an introvert like myself, please go to the movies early in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday, or during the week if you don't have a job.
During the week, there's not a lot of people there either. What
True.
the fuck accent just came out of my mouth?
No clue.
God.
But I went at 11:10 this morning, and it was the best thing ever. There were a lot of fathers in there for Father's Day, right? But I had practically a whole row to myself. There was only like 3 other people, but it was amazing. There was nobody talking back to the screen.
Nice.
There were no babies crying. Not a single cell phone went off. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
I love going to the movies. Do they have the recliner chairs?
They did. Yeah. I got my little popcorn and, I went on by myself.
Refused to watch a movie with my feet down. No.
Halfway through the movie, I did put my feet down because it just felt uncomfortable.
No, I will always be. I want to lay. I want to lay all the time.
Because if I lay back, I'm going to fall asleep. And I was there by myself, so I didn't want to get taken advantage of.
I see.
Got to keep your eyes open at all times. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And for those people who like to ruin movies for people, specifically those on social media who feel that it is their God-given assignment on this earth to videotape and to post all 30,000 parts of a movie.
Oh my God, grow up.
The devil is
Get
busy
a job.
in your life. Seriously, because you don't have a job. Mm-mm. You don't have anything that you are doing. Now, some of the stuff that I haven't seen, I do appreciate some of those people. However, in the grand scheme of things, this is why shows that you love keep